Okay, so let's get into this really interesting situation that's unfolded.
Right. We're talking about the social activist, VERYDARKMAN, Martin Zatse.
Exactly. He's just been released from EFCC custody. And we know this because there's this video going around.
Yeah, the one with him and his lawyer, Deji Adeyanju. It's pretty widely circulated now.
And what really jumps out, I mean, the core of it is VERYDARKMAN just seems stunned.
Utterly stunned. He can't believe he's being accused of money laundering.
Especially, and this is the kicker, because he keeps saying he's broke.
Yeah, how do those two things even connect? It's definitely puzzling on the surface.
It really is. So let's unpack what's actually said in that video.
Well, the most striking part is how blunt he is. He directly questions the whole premise.
What does he say exactly?
He asks something like, how would they level allegations of money laundering on someone who doesn't have money?
Right. Which immediately makes you pause and think, okay, hold on.
It forces you to question, what our typical image of money laundering even is. Is it always about massive personal wealth?
Yeah, you picture like suitcases of cash or something. Maybe for someone listening who isn't totally clear, what does money laundering actually involve, generally speaking?
Well, at its core, it's about hiding where money came from, specifically money obtained illegally, making it look legitimate.
Okay.
And the key thing is the person doing the laundering doesn't necessarily have to be rich themselves.
No, okay. That's interesting.
They could just be, moving money for other people, or maybe using bank accounts in ways that look suspicious, even if their own balance isn't huge.
So personal wealth isn't the defining factor, necessarily. That makes sense. And then there's his explanation for all the charity work he does.
Right, because he's quite known for that. You'd think that would be, a point in his favor.
You would? What does he say about funding it?
He's quite clear.
Yeah.
He says, I have done so many charity, they wonder how. They don't know I use debt for charity.
Right. Debt. So he's borrowing money to give it away.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
That adds another, wrinkle to the whole thing, doesn't it?
It really does. It kind of goes against the idea of someone trying to quietly stash away illegal money. Taking on debt seems quite public, quite traceable.
Unless, and this is just speculation based on how these things work.
Go on.
Unless the source of that debt is the issue. Or maybe how the debt and the charity transactions were structured.
Ah, so it's not just that he used debt, but potentially where the debt came from or the flow of funds.
Exactly. Investigators might be looking at, the origin of these loans, the repayment terms, maybe the financial mechanics of the charity itself.
Even if he personally doesn't have a lot of money sitting around.
Precisely. The financial activity itself, even if it's based on borrowing, could still raise red flags for financial crime investigators.
Okay, so it's definitely not as simple as just no money laundering. There are layers here.
Definitely layers.
The video does wrap up with him just confirming he's out, right? He's with his lawyer.
Yep. That's the concrete outcome from this specific video clip. He's released. He's with Adeyanju.
So thinking bigger picture for a moment, what does this situation kind of highlight for us?
I think it really underscores how complex financial crime accusations can be and how they don't always match up with, the public's idea of who gets accused of what.
Meaning someone who seems quite public, maybe even presents as not wealthy,
can still end up facing scrutiny for financial dealings. It shows the gap between public perception and the technicalities of financial regulation and investigation.
Okay, so let's quickly recap for everyone listening. We have VERYDARKMAN, the activist, released from EFCC custody.
He was accused of money laundering, an accusation he finds, unbelievable.
Right, unbelievable because he says he's broke.
And he explains his charity activities by saying he funds them using debt.
So it leaves you, the listener, with a pretty interesting thought to mull over, doesn't it?
Definitely. It makes you wonder, what could this case, even at this early point, tell us about how these financial investigations work?
And maybe about how we perceive things like wealth, activism, and financial scrutiny. It seems there's often more going on beneath the surface.
Absolutely. It challenges some common assumptions, that's for sure. Food for thought.